Hey, it's good to be back.
We're back. I'm Steve Peterson.
So good to be back, and I'm Jack Hinkle.
Welcome to Chops Podcast. I think you should like and subscribe right now.
Do it.
Do it now.
Do it now.
It's summer vacation still.
Well,
Jack, come on. It is still.
you knew that was coming, dude.
I knew it
You
was,
were throwing that
but I used to
softball
tell I used to say that it was summer vacation until 8:20 of the first day of school. But I knew what was happening.
I did sleep in this morning, so you're right. We're
See?
still kind of there.
You had your leisurely cup of coffee.
You know I did.
How's your coffee experience going lately? Good?
It is quite good. Quite good. Got some Ethiopian blend. Yeah, you?
I'm now on to Aldi French roast.
How is it?
Fine. I am.
If you're watching the video, it looked like he was about to say, like, very good, and he just went, fine.
I have found in the last couple of years that French roast is my roast of choice. Even though it's stronger, it's less bitter, less acidic than like Colombian.
Yeah.
That kind of medium kind of roast stuff.
Very bold.
Yeah, I like the bold flavor. And I don't really have a discerning taste. Maybe you find that hard to believe because I would like eat anything, including leftovers. But like dark coffee is dark coffee.
Is that the one that comes in the bag or the tin?
The bag.
Okay, on the top shelf.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Aldi.
Okay.
Aldi
does some good things.
They have a system.
They have a system. Their shopping carts, the order of them, pristine. Not always the function, but the order of them.
Well, we are going to talk about systems.
Systems.
Right?
Yes, indeed. Yes. Love systems.
Okay. Systems with, so it is, I don't even know what day it is.
That's the beauty. Yeah, that's how you know it's summer. What day is it? Is it August? Nope. Great.
No,
okay.
I'm still good.
We're on July 30th, I believe. We're on the second to
Are
last
we
day,
really?
the penultimate day.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're in the middle of marching band.
Ooh, yes, we
Well,
are.
Camp, you'd had day camp the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
And now you're on nights.
Yes. We are on nights.
Yeah.
Day camp, 8:30 to 4. Do like an hour for lunch and games. Nights, 6 to 9:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes by pretty quick. It's 3.5 hours, as you know.
Yeah.
So we are in thick of that. And then, of course, outside of that time, I know you and I are both kind of starting to thinking about the SCH word and what we need to do to take care of that stuff. You know? Okay. So on the topic of systems.
Yeah.
And we may have talked about this before, but we talked about this probably more loosely. But today, I want to
talk about it tightly. Tight.
Thinking about how we can help the kids be more systematic in their approach, not to make our lives easier, but to make the kids more successful and experience more quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So a way that school has done this without the kids involved is like learning management systems, the LMS acronym, if you will. Hashtag Apple Teacher. But like Canvas, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Canvas is our like school platform, and it lets us upload files, upload docs, communicate with students and parents, grade, all this stuff. And that has quickened everything like outside of the classroom and some things inside. Did you ever have to grade with like paper? Did you have to keep a paper grade book ever? Is that an offensive question? I'm sorry.
No.
That's a genuine question. Like all I've known is digital grade books.
Yes.
I remember like my grade school teachers, like in 3rd and 4th grade, like they had that planner that like, or the notebook that they had to like write in.
The ledger. Yeah.
And carbon copies and everything.
Yeah.
So you had to do that.
Yeah. When I started teaching in Kentucky, I remember how I had a supervising teacher.
I'm sure you did.
I don't, yeah.
They were vising something. Maybe they weren't super, but they were vising.
There was a lot of vising going on. But I was, first year teacher thought was, you got your roster, but inevitably you knew it was going to change from kids being brought in or kids taken out. And then I was like, that was my question. I was like, well, how do you set up your grade book if you don't know what your roster is?
Valid question.
So she had some tricks about writing things in pencils and writing like a separate list that you could put over the grade book. But yeah, it was that green
Yeah.
grid thing
Yep.
that they, I'm sure some teachers still use. Just because they like the sensation of using a spreadsheet and this kind of stuff like that. But so for 4 years it was like that. And then I came here in Concord in 98. We used a program called micrograde. But the music staff, we were kind of like rogue on that. Like other departments didn't use it. We used it. And then you had to put the grades in a Scantron bubble sheet.
That sounds like a really fun time on the last day of the semester.
Yeah.
And
So
everyone's fighting to get the Scantron
yeah,
machine.
exactly.
Yeah.
So now it's all automated, all that information, which is a big deal.
Very big deal. I mean, I can already see I already know my roster for this year. I'm looking at that. I'm like,
Look at that.
what do you know? Yeah, I can look at that. I can see what kids I got. I already got like parents signed on as observers on Canvas. I'm like, wow, these guys are locked in. That's great. But I think about stuff like that just makes our job so much easier. Like, so Steve came in a little bit earlier today to help me with some programming for jazz band. And I just can't, it was so easy. Like, you're like, what do you want to play? And I'm like, well, let me show you. And I can just pull up the score and the music. And you're like, yep, think about this. Yep. Can the okay, the saxophones do that, trumpets, yep, okay. And it's all like everything is just like so easy compared to I'm sure what many teachers in the past have had to do. So where I'm going with this is like with kids, we want to be able to create systems and things that they can do to kind of automate stuff in the classroom, but also for themselves outside of the classroom.
Yeah.
So here's something
Okay.
as an example, and then you can tee off and give me all you got. Give me all you got. But I don't know if you were still here for this, but we kind of changed how the instrument storage room looks again.
Because
it's the end of the year. We come to the same conclusion every year that we need to change
it. It's not working. The system is not working.
I'm
the
sure
call's coming from inside the house. Help!
I'm sure we'll come to the same
So
conclusion
what did you do?
But new spreadsheet, again, shocking, new spreadsheet. That'll solve everything. But we printed out a QR code, put it on the inside door of the instrument storage room, letting students and student leaders kind of head this up that, like, if somebody needs, their clarinet broke, which, by the way, sidebar, I found a clarinet in the fridge.
Yes.
And I thought it was like a student
Wait, is
prank.
it still there?
No, it's gone. But
I told Brian to do that.
Yes,
okay.
I know. So we had a student who was having like a stuck cork.
Yes.
Right?
The barrel was stuck on.
And like, I didn't know this, but I just came in one morning at band camp to put my lunch away, and I opened the fridge. I'm like, oh, what? And there's like part of a clarinet just like in the fridge next to my lunch. And I was like, are we getting punked?
Did it work?
I think so.
Okay, because it was supposed to like shrink the cork and then allow that joint to come apart.
So band directors out there, hot tip, stuck cork, put it in fridge.
Yeah. Along with your vanilla pudding, you're set.
Yeah,
okay, so you got this QR code, takes you to a spreadsheet. So if the kids want to use a clarinet.
Yes. You can send in, like, student clarinet breaks, I need a new clarinet. Send in the kid with like a drum major.
Yeah.
Drum majors usually can figure out where the good instruments are.
Sure.
Get it for the kid. Kid scans QR code, takes them to a Google form. They fill out the Google form. Drum major's there to make sure they fill out the Google form correctly. Then it populates in a spreadsheet. And with that, we get an email that's saying this kid is borrowing this instrument.
Perfect.
And that is like zero work from the directors. That was like 10 minutes of prep on like Google Forms.
So how's it been working?
Well, fortunately, not a lot of traffic. I'm sure that will change as school gets going.
Right.
But I know that like there have been a couple times, I think they've been my kids, that I'll say, okay, go in there and like go with this person. They need a trumpet. And then they come out, they get a new trumpet. And then I just got the email. It'll say their name, what day they got it, how long they're going to use it.
So back it up. What was the system before that? Like one of the systems.
one of the systems is band director goes in there, gets the instrument, and hopefully writes it down somewhere.
Right.
Right? I mean,
right,
that's...
right.
And it was like a lot of work on our part, which is not, again, it's not bad for us to be doing work, but it's usually taking us away from more meaningful work. That's kind of how that goes. So if you can give the kids as much part of that responsibility as you can for you to do that more meaningful work that the kids can't do, that's usually the best system. But we come back to that room every May and look at it, and it is like a dumpster fire, like a garage sale that got blown up by a hurricane.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
horrible.
it would look like. And
It's
we're just
horrible.
like, why?
Yeah.
Why is this the way that it is?
Yeah, yeah.
So this is like
so
system
10-minute fix.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. It's system number 27 of that room, So, but that's an example of like literal system, not quite kid focused yet, but we'll get there. That we've been doing. So, if we move it forward, Steve, that's a good sound effect to like systems with kids. I know you had, when you were teaching AP Music Theory, you had systems that the kids understood that made the class move quicker because you would name every handout you gave them.
Oh yeah.
You gave them folders, and you're like, pull out Bernice. I don't think that was it, but it was like something like that.
It was in alphabetical order, wasn't it?
That was the secret. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the first, it was like names. Were they all names?
Yeah.
Like pull out Alfred.
Like when you were in high school?
No, like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Right? You
Yes.
had that going on?
Yeah, so so that part of the system was just based on naming. Instead of saying like page 21 exercise A, we just like put a actual name to it, which seemed to help us keep track of things better.
Because the organization of all that paper stuff was quite a challenge for some kids that I could remember.
Right. And also I remember like when you were in high school and when we did things more paper, I know that you're more into digital now with AP Music Theory, but it seemed like in certain like generations of music theory, there was a lot of paper and we were doing a lot of homework.
Yeah.
And doing a lot of homework on manuscript paper. And then I had a red folder, and the red folder was ready, quote, ready to grade.
Because it's red.
And then the blue folder was going back to you. Blue's going back to you. So I would always have those folders out. And so there was an exchange each day in class, kids putting stuff in the red folder or taking it out from the blue folder. And kind of keeping that going.
Yep.
That was good. And then also another thing, I don't know if this is a system, maybe it was, but like if you had a full sheet of manuscript paper, you would put multiple assignments on it. You would like fill up the manuscript paper. So you weren't just using like a quarter sheet of paper, but you just keep on using it for Alan and Bernice and Charlie and Denise and all that kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Save the trees.
Yeah.
So and you did experience success with that, and the kids were also successful because they were able to keep track of that stuff. Because we've all seen the kid that has a backpack that's just a black hole, and like they'll pull out like 6 loose leaves of paper, like a bag of Takis, like their little brothers somehow in there.
Yeah, exactly.
And and you look at that kid and you're like, how is this going for you?
Yeah.
Like what is your deal? So it helps that kind of kid.
So I think as we're lurking, the first day of school is lurking. Right?
First day of SCH. Yeah.
2 weeks from today.
Why'd you have to do that?
I don't know.
He looked so powerful when he did that. He's like, Jack, it's 2 weeks from today. I know, dude. I got the same calendar you do.
Did you know it was 2 weeks?
Yes, I knew it was 2 weeks from the day. I knew it was 3 weeks from last week. It's just like it's always there, right?
I know.
Oh, I'm a teacher. I love school. I signed on for another year. I know this, but it's the mornings of coffee and slow, right?
Yeah, it's not sleeping in anymore.
It's not sleeping in. It's getting up and
working all day.
Yeah. All we do is work.
Okay, here's what I thought about with systems, if I may. Jack knows that I'm involved in a home project of power washing the wooden fence and then staining it.
He showed me pictures. Beautiful.
Beautiful, right?
You need a stainer.
Call me. Water-based. Got this. Okay. So, but the interesting thing is that doing we talked about like home ownership, about how there's like always things kind of going on. And so your choice is to ignore it, pay for it, or do it yourself. Right?
That's pretty good. Yeah. 3 options.
Those are the options. And depending how big it is, or depending on how severe it is, you can do those different things.
Or move.
Or move and send it on to somebody else, or just go back to a condo and rent it. So one of the things, though, that I was realizing is that, like, I got this. Is it raining? Got this power sprayer, and I didn't know how it worked. I just bought it, but
Classic.
You know,
I know where
it came in a cool little carry case, and so, and I was like thinking about it the night before, like, okay, how am I going to do this? Like, kind of like, what's the order of operations?
Sure.
Right. So, you know, I'm like, where did I want to set up home base? You know, would it be in the garage? Would it be in the backyard? Where would it be? So, but I wanted to get a system so I could do things efficiently and cleanly and not worry about the paint and not worry about the materials, and just make sure that everything was buttoned up at the top end of the night and it wasn't all over the place. So thinking about that project made me think about a system. And I'm more apt to be into a project or a chore, I don't know, but something that takes a little bit more sustained time with coming up with a system, because I like the routine and I like the expectedness of it. And then so like when I'm done spraying, I know the protocol of what I'm going to do and like where I'm going to clean it and how I'm going to clean it and where it's going to be stored, you know, to make the next day get off to a good start.
And then you already are kind of looking forward to it in some ways.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that part, though, in my mind, I was like looking forward to doing the work on the fence because it really needed a facelift. But I wasn't sure how it was going to go and just like the steps, but just like coming up with something as simple as that, like staining a fence, but like coming up with a system to like where the materials are, how do you clean, how do you store? And that kind of led to my enjoyment of doing the project.
And you know what you're to expect.
I know what to
You know
expect.
what's coming next. It's not catching you off guard.
Right. And I think about that now at the beginning of the school year, which we're dipping into, and you've been dipping into it already with marching band, but we did talk about this in the last episode about the grade school kids especially, but making that, the first week, 2, 3 of school are so imperative to, if you're going to make a system, that's when they get made.
Right. And, it's interesting you brought up the whole staining activity.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading something online, like a post about how bands, not concert bands, but like rock bands that play encores, it's stupid. Like, why do they fake going off the stage just to come back and let's just cut to the chase and go. But then someone was like, well, it gives the listeners like an idea to expect, like, no, this is the end. Like, it's coming up. And then they related it to like parents and bedtime with kids. It's a lot easier to, instead of saying like, okay, we got to go to bed right now, and like rip the kid away from the TV and saying, okay, one more show,
right,
half an hour earlier,
right,
and we go to bed. And now you think about that in terms of school.
Okay, wait, go back to the concert thing.
So you're giving the audience, like, you're making them think they're getting a little more out of the band,
even though it was kind of set up already.
Yeah,
it's predestined.
It's predestined, but you're letting people understand, like,
you feel like you kind of have a say in it also.
Yep.
That you're demanding or asking for more.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
And so they related.
So it's just kind of like, I know and you know, but we have this tradition.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then they related to the parent and child thing. And then I'm thinking about that in terms of school. It's like, you go back to that staining the fence analogy. And if you got a crew doing it, they understand the routine of what comes next. But if you said, all right, kids, today we got to go outside and stain. And the kid's like, well, I didn't know we were, and then like they start doing that.
Yeah.
But now if you have the routine built in, like we did this, then this, then this, they already know that that's coming. And they've kind of been able to prep themselves mentally or whatever, and just come to expect it because you've set a system in place
Yes.
on how the routine goes.
Yes. Like there's been some things like, transitioning in this job from going from a music teacher to a music administrator, and then exiting from the music department and going into alternative education, and like going over some things that you're going to be taking care of, and kind of made me kind of reflect on the system that I had for me. The system was built for me, but just like how over years I knew exactly where to put things, documents, and where to look for things, and the reoccurring annual events, and how you upgrade those. And like I was happy with the system I had, and some of it you used and some of you didn't. Some of it you used and some of it you didn't. But it was that system for me. And then you take it, then you take the information and the data, and you make the system for you, whatever how you see and things working out the best. But I know that when I'm at my most efficient, I'm working out of some kind of a system.
Yeah.
And it's not oppressive, like a obsessive compulsive kind of like, I have to do it this way, but just kind of help clear the path, to get things done.
But also set the path for you to do it again, because you're going to have to do it again, because we live in the world of school where we're on a cycle of a year. And you found success in a lot of those systems.
Yes.
And now you have practice building systems.
Yes.
So now in your new job, you've paved your way to start the system.
Exactly. Yeah. And then it's kind of like, it's high stakes, isn't it? The beginning of school.
It's what they say.
And for you, the beginning of school, started in mid-July, but it's those, you look forward to the end of the marching band season of being at a certain proficiency level and having the students be running on some level of autonomy.
Yeah.
But, October doesn't happen without July.
Right. Well, and you think of marching band as just like a system full of many smaller systems.
Yes.
And marching band would not survive for anybody without systems.
Right.
Right. I mean, every band counts off a certain way. They march a certain way, and they rehearse a certain way. They have certain commands that they follow. That's all systems, because if we didn't have that, our 220 group marching Minutemen would just flounder. It wouldn't know what to do. And that's our fault as teachers if that were to happen. Interesting you bring up marching band, because that's kind of where I was going next with my kids, if I may.
Please.
But I've done a lot more student work. Like I'll send them away and they go work. And it's been, like we've heard this as teacher talk, the gradual release method, right? That's like the fancy way. And then the not fancy way is to call it I do, we do, you do.
Yes.
And that's how I teach my leaders to teach the younger kids.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they do it because I'm not there, but I show them, like I model it for them. Get it? Because it's like I do, and then we'll do it, and then they do it. But I show it for them like, okay, you play something, have your person you're working with play it, you play it together, have them play it again, you play it again, they play it. Do wash, rinse, repeat until they get it. And of course, tell them stuff in the meantime.
And then eventually the student plays it by themselves.
And eventually student plays it by themselves, and hopefully it's at an adequate or more in terms of their performance ability. But I usually will send like a small group away, like my mellophones, because there's like 12 of them. And I'll say, okay, you got like 30 minutes. The first 10 completely on your own. You just playing the music, trying to get comfortable with it. The next like 15, you and a buddy older people find younger people, help them. Don't play your part, play their part.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you can probably already
Yeah,
play
yeah,
your
yeah.
part if you're older. And then last 5 minutes, everybody together play, and then come back. And that, you can't do that with every group. I mean, you got to be careful about who you're willing to send away and have them come back. But that sort of system is something that not only feeds itself for this year, but when those younger kids become older kids, they know what it was like, and they can do it for the next younger kids.
Yeah. Is that something, that process is something you've been doing for a number of years? Like when you think of like small group work?
Well, and you know this as well as I do, like that's kind of how band starts,
Mm-hmm.
right? In the first week of our freshman camp, we do a lot of that. But then probably after that, we don't do it as much.
Right.
Sometimes. But this year we have fewer staff members in the summer band staff, so trying to rely more on the kids and kind of helping them do that. So I would say this year I'm doing it more because of that. But I'd like to do it more because a lot of these kids are smart enough. They know what they're playing and when they make mistakes, and they can self-correct.
Okay.
Why shouldn't we utilize that, you
Right.
know? So that's like a system that I would like to build with kids, is like the teaching each other. And every discipline does this, right? I mean, you do like think, pair, share, or buddy up in like a math class, right?
Yeah.
And compare answers, but ours is a much bigger entity with many more students, and so trying to find ways to maximize that, I believe, is kind of imperative to our success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like if you're having to depend on yourself getting to every single person,
Right.
that's a slow process and probably not real efficient.
Correct. And like another example, like Brian started doing pass offs, and he passed off his seniors right away, and then let the seniors do pass offs for the younger kids. Pass off is just like a playing test. Can they do it or not? And so the seniors could help the younger kids. So he's getting to more students than just he could do by himself.
Right.
And I imagine the seniors were probably pretty quick to do that since they've been playing Anchors
Right.
Away for 4 years.
And then it's probably hard to imagine. I mean, I know I wasn't sure, like, you know, how long you put those like numbers into place, like 10, 15, 5, that kind of thing. But the concept of having students working to become the teachers and then to pay it forward, it's probably hard to imagine doing your marching band time with your 40 kids without having access to that.
Without having access to the
Students being teachers.
that would be tough in a longer period of time, right?
Yes.
And especially like early in the season when we don't know the music very well.
Yes.
Further down the season when pretty much all the kids can play the notes and rhythms, that's one thing. But like right now, especially with how differentiated the lesson plan is, like the mellophones have a lot more 16th notes than the trumpets do most of the time. So you band directors, you know what I'm talking about. But it's interesting to find that balance between me leading it and the students leading it, especially during band camp, you know, when we have 3 hours a day we're in music, you know, so trying to find that. So that's a system I would like to continue to develop and possibly implement, not the same way, but the idea of it in maybe other of my classes this year. I'd like to do that.
Like with AP Theory?
AP Theory, that would be an interesting one. Like if you sing for each other, that'd be kind of terrifying for the kids, but they'd get better. Or even like concert band. You know, let the kids chew on it on their own for 10 minutes. Get with a buddy for 5. Just stay in the room, spread out. It'll be chaotic, but kids usually enjoy that part.
I always think that being able to divide and conquer like that does do a lot for the energy of the room and with the pacing of rehearsal or instructional time. And it puts less focus on the teacher and it puts more focus on the students. Instead of just thinking of what to say next all the time as a teacher and like to reiterate and rephrase how you're going to say the same thing, get their peers to help out. And you know, that's something that's been going on for like a long time. A lot of different groups, you know, do that, you know, music groups and athletic groups. And, having breaking down to squads or ranks or whatever, but just I think there is a lot of wisdom, and there's a lot of I liked your thought of like, your freshmen right now in 3 years, they're a part of that continuity of teaching your classmates, just like your seniors.
Right.
They're not foreign to that. They're used to being able to do that.
And there's a terminology that you hear in sports, or like it's a growing year for us, right?
Yeah.
And usually that is coded for it's a younger group and maybe not as proficient, right? And if you can, by having the freshmen do this now so they can be teachers when they're older, it's like I want to avoid growing years, right? You're growing every year, but you don't ever want to be out of crops, right?
Right.
When the time comes. So that's my thought.
No, that's I was thinking about this as far as like a system or the anti-system, if I may.
Anti-system. What's an anti-system?
Well, I was like thinking of like jazz band.
Anti-system, jazz band.
No, but like you and I taught jazz band together for many years, and we would have different ideas about like what assignments would be. Like we've talked about this almost every episode, but like talked about like what the assignments should be, how often should they be, and then when are they due, and then how much time do they have to turn in late, right? And then how much credit do we award for turning in at a certain time?
This is the anti-system because we never systemized it.
And if someone said, Steve, well, why did you have assignments in jazz band? Like, why not just rehearse your class? Like, why give them practice assignments? Why give them listening assignments? Why give them whatever, or sectional assignments? And then I think part of my brain would be like, well, it helps them be responsible, and they're investing on their own time, and they're doing something collectively with the rest of the group, but they turn in, but they have done their own work. They have a similar experience and a shared experience, but they have the confidence to do it on their own. And it kind of augmented the class plan. I think that's what
I like that.
Right? Steve was thinking. But then I can think of like very distinct times, like as in years, where I obliterated class assignments and the bands flourished. But, there's a lot to unpack there, because did I get rid of assignments because things were going well, and so the band was cruising anyway? Did I get rid of assignments because I became disinterested in it myself? So I didn't want the kids to become disinterested in it, so I just kind of let it go. So there's different reasons that things were taken off the shelf of what requirements to practice, and and so that was like a system, but I don't always think that system led to excellence. And I can think of some like really great times again of not doing that. And I can remember when you were in school, like your junior and senior years, like doing things differently and not doing assignments.
No, we didn't do assignments.
And like had a ball, and the band was good. Now, is that because the talent pool and the maturity level was higher, and that we could really rely on rehearsals to get us through, and we were just efficient? But like this past spring, after spring break till the end, we did no assignments. And the band that just graduated ended up being really good.
Yeah.
And they made like light year improvements, like from August to May. Like their transformation.
Totally different band.
Like a whole different vibe, like this whole different personality. But did not get into the assignments like in the last 6 weeks of school.
So it sounds like you're telling me
Well, I am telling you. I think it's okay to question your systems. And in fact, I guess when you don't question your systems, you run into the risk of just doing something. And why do you do it, Steve? Because I've always done it.
Right. Well, that is interesting because you think about the assignments and the kids that do turn it in. Like, did they get better? I don't know.
Right.
What did it? We accomplished something. We accomplished the assignment. Are there skills to show for it? I don't know. That's a good point. And I know you and I have talked extensively on air and off the air about homework assignments and what our best practice is for our kids. And that is an ever-changing target, and I'm sure we still haven't found the solution. But that's a great point, like the whole assignment thing with jazz band. So maybe we'll ditch them this year. Maybe no points. Did you show up today with your instrument? Okay, 100 points.
Those kind of situations, though, kind of like made me like think of like, get over yourself. Like,
yeah, sure.
You know, like, really, because the kids listen to a certain album twice, you know, they're going to be that much better. I don't know. I'm sure it had some kind of payoff eventually, but as far as their emotional temperature and like how they approached the class, I would say it was probably even better when we didn't do assignments. Now, maybe I only did that with groups I trusted.
Well, band directors out there listening, comment, write in.
Right.
Let's go. Come on. We need your ideas. Like, do we do homework? Do we not do it? Roll the dice. What do we got?
Right.
Hook us up. That's good.
It's not very funny, but, you know,
that's real.
It's real.
I mean, it could be funny. I don't know. We've had some funny homework assignments turned in.
Yeah, well, and I think
some on purpose, some not.
Right.
You're like really contemplative about this. We've opened up something for you.
I am, because I, you know, with school, but, you know, like in music class, they spend every day with you.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully. And during, you know, like extracurricular season of marching band or co-curricular, they're spending a lot of time. And I remember years past that we had assignments in marching band, like written assignments, like for drill books.
Oh,
and had to fill out things and turn them in and verify that you had this up to date. And I think it's fascinating, but I also know that those teachers assigned those things over the years. Their methods changed.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were always turning over new ideas and maybe not doing it sometimes and doing it sometimes. And people that were very successful at their teaching with their teaching craft. But so maybe that's it, is that as long as it's not stagnant and you're not just like, no, we're doing it this way because this is the way it's done.
Yep.
But you're kind of open to the freedom of it, and you're open to the what's good and what's not so good. I think just being in present in the evaluation of it in the present moment.
Wow, that was good. You brought that back. Maybe we'll just give the kids a piece of paper and a pencil and just say, write down the grade.
What do you think?
What do you think? What do you deserve? What do you think you should get? A+. Really?
Yeah.
Really? You said?
Yeah.
Oh, now you change it to a B.
Right.
Really? Okay.
Well, it does make me think, like, so, you know, as we had mentioned in the last episode, I'm taking on a new role at our high school, and I'm teaching.
You said churching at one point.
Churching. I'm teaching as part of the Aspire Academy, which is Concord High School's alternative school program. So students that come in for 3 hours a day, and they work online to get credits to work towards their diploma. And I just totally lost what I was going to say. This is a lonely feeling. I know what I was going to say. Is that my understanding of the program and the history of it for the last few years is that the students are expected to work on their own in the classroom, like there's expectations for how we're getting things accomplished during the school day, but there's not a lot of expectations for them doing things outside class.
Okay.
And the idea is that, well, they're going to have a good 3-hour focus with us and meaningful time studying and asking questions and, doing assignments, quizzes, and tests, that if they do that diligently, they'll be able to succeed. And not, the expectation is not you should spend 2 more hours out of school.
I'm really excited to have an episode with you after you've been in that classroom for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Just like things you learn, things you see and observe, and your own systems.
Right. Because it is a lot of independence for them. They have, from what I know, they have 2 classes going on at a time. And they don't have any more than that, but they just have 2 to get through. And then I think homework and those kind of things are an age-old question.
Yeah.
Age-old, like, we should do it because we've always done it, and you need the practice and you need the review. But then also, like you and I have talked about countless times, the lifestyle of students isn't always conducive, maybe because of their family situation, their economic situation, where they're living, like how far they have to travel.
Can they even play their instrument in the house?
Right.
Yeah.
Do they have a way to transport their instrument? So all this kind of stuff that seems, maybe at first we weren't always considering the ramifications of all that. And not to sound like Debbie Downer, but then it's
reality.
It is reality.
It's true. Seriously though, write us in. Let us know what you think, listeners. Even if you're not a teacher, what are your thoughts on homework? Let us know. On that note, I got to go eat dinner before.
What'd you bring?
I have to go work. You know what I brought.
Beans and rice.
I actually did, yeah, burrito bowl. I'm using a ground turkey this week, though,
Yeah,
switching it up. It's a little healthier,
Well,
right? Less grease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew you invited me to come in like last week.
Yes.
But and I could have said fish tacos, but I knew that if I didn't bring it up the day before, that was not fair play because you would have your.
I appreciate that. Because you're right. That's how I roll.
And I was like, I could have said at noon today, hey, fish tacos tonight before band. That wouldn't be fair because Jack would already have meal prepped and would have it here.
Now, I haven't like totally meal prepped like the full week. I'm not there yet in the school, but I did. I had like a big batch of rice and a big batch of like ground turkey and beans just to like have for the week when I need it. So, but I got it. We're set tonight. We'll do fish tacos soon though.
Yeah, we will. We'll get back on it.
Yep, that'll be good.
Okay, so hit that like, hit that subscribe, keep the questions coming. And so for Steve Peterson
and Jack Hinkle,
we're out of here.
See ya.